Well, good morning, YouTube. This is Chuck, and this is Sunday, October 15th at about 11:30 in the morning, and I'm coming to you from the busiest intersection in town. It's the intersection of State Route 87 and State Route 260. And what you're seeing in all the traffic here is you're seeing all the campers and the weekenders that are starting to head home. They got to go back down the Metro Phoenix area to work their 9 to 5. I've shot a number of videos from this location because there's been a lot of different stuff happen. But the one I got for you today is a little bit different. And it doesn't really involve the intersection as much as it involves the buildings over here. Now this Walgreens has been here for quite a few years. But before Walgreens bought this property, there was a couple other buildings here. Now right there in the front part, underneath where the Walgreens sign is, there's some traffic noise, especially that big diesel truck. I apologize for that. But underneath the front part of that store, there actually was a little small building that was actually a Kentucky Fried Chicken. It was a little standalone building. But back over here on the back side, past my truck over there, back where that line of cars are, there was another little commercial building, and it was like a little L-shaped strip mall that kind of ran, kind of like, hold a finger out there, kind of this way and then kind of elbowed back, that kind of L-shaped thing back there. And it had a number of different occupancies in it, and it used kind of a Pueblo style architecture with stucco on it and the fake beams sticking out of it. It was called the Old Hopi House. Well, down there in the corner, right in the back corner, right roughly where that pickup truck, right about where that pickup truck is turning right there, is there was a little ice cream shop there, and it was run by an older lady, and she just absolutely used to love us firemen. Let me get back around here, I can talk to you. Anyway, she used to love us firefighters, and so we made it, she would always treat us nice, and we always made it a point to go visit her whenever we could. And if it was a hot day and we were out fighting a fire or something, and we got off the fire and we were all hot and sweaty and needed something to drink and stuff, on the way back to the station, sometimes we'd stop in there, and we actually developed a radio code for that. And that radio code was called the code RBF. And if we were clearing a call or something, and somebody come over the radio and said, do we have time for code RBF? Well, RBF stood for root beer float. And there'd be a lot of times that we'd have all of our fire trucks lined up back in there, and there'd be 20 of us in there buying ice cream, buying root beer floats from this gal. And I was trying to remember her name, I can't remember it now, but that was quite a while ago, and she just loved us firefighters to death, and she always treated us so nice. That's not really what my story's about today. What my story's about today is who owned that building. Well, there was a guy and his wife. They lived in Scottsdale. And he owned a number of properties around town here, including the Old Hopi House. And his name was Jess, and her name was Barbara, and it was Jess and Barbara Nix. Well, as you probably figured out already, their daughter was Stevie Nix from Fleetwood Mac. And Stevie and Fleetwood Mac were just hitting superstardom at that point. And she was pretty busy, but there was a couple of times there that she'd ride up for the day with her parents, and people would see her around town, and everybody get all gaga over it. And being the fire chief, of course, I had dealings with different property owners and different business people every day, and so I got to meet Jess and Barbara and shake their hand, and they were always very, very nice people to me. And so there's a little story with a celebrity connection. I actually have another one for you, so I'm going to go on to that one. Let me turn back one more time and show you the cars in this intersection right now. On a busy summer weekday, they'll be stacked up all the way down the street there on the way back, going back to Phoenix. So I'll be back again with you here in just a second. Okay, I'm back. And before I go on to my second story, let me add a couple things to my first one. And first thing is that I never got a chance to meet Stevie Nix. I had several times that I dealt with her father and her mom, but never got a chance to meet her. And I was always a big Fleetwood Mac fan. But the second part of that was that One day when she was up here, they went to eat at a local restaurant, and the gal that owned the restaurant at the time she was absolutely starstruck over the opportunity to meet Stevie. And so for about the next 6 months, every time you go in there, all that's been playing is Fleetwood Mac music. And I mean, she talked about it constantly, and she was just absolutely amazed, and just, I guess that was a real big thing for her. But let me go on to my second story, and this is actually a third take on this. I messed up the first two. So this second story actually happened here. This is right here at Payson Town Hall. And the way I messed it up the first time was the lighting. But so I'm going to stay where I'm at here this time, spin you on back around. That's the water department building over there, and that's the police department building over there, and that's community development over there, and these are all solar panels under the parking structure, but that's not what the story's about. Here again, years back, we had y'all remember Walter Payton. He was a professional football player, and he was a household name at the time, and everybody knew Walter, super nice guy. And anyway, he was here in town, and if I remember correctly, I think it had something to do with Special Olympics. And so anyway, he arranged for a meet and greet here in Town Hall. And so I'm not a big guy for chasing celebrities or anything, but I happened to be here for that. And so he was talking to people, and right over here, kind of about where my truck is parked, but facing, so the front of the vehicle was facing toward my truck and the left side was facing this way, there was a police department car. And somewhere partway through this little meet and greet, there was a little kind of a little, I don't know, pause or something, and Walter Payton said, "Does anybody here have a roll of black electrical tape?" Well, you know, I had carried a roll in my car. It's a firefighter thing. And so I said, "Yeah, I've got some." And he said, "Can I borrow it?" And I said, "Well, sure." So I went over to my car and I got out a roll of black electrical tape and I gave it to Walter. And anyway, he tore off a couple little pieces and he walked over to that police car. And in those days, the police department cars were white and they had like a star emblem on the door. And it said Payson on the top, and then the bottom it said Police, D-E-P-T. Well, Walter went over there and he changed the S on Payson to a T, so it read Payton Police Department. And then he stood there in front of that and he posed for photographs for probably, I don't know, a half hour, 45 minutes or so. Super nice guy, gave me my roll of tape, thanked me very much, shook my hand. And so that's that story. It was kind of fun, kind of a funny thing, and everybody got a good laugh out of it. But that's just a couple little firefighter stories with a Hollywood connection, and they're not a Hollywood connection, but a celebrity connection. And as I always tell you, take care of each other, love each other, and it's a beautiful afternoon. I'll get back with you on another one here pretty quick. I got 2 or 3 of them bouncing around my head right now, so let me put it over here where I can find a button. And for right now, I'll just tell you till I talk to you again. Peace out.